welcome to the explainer. So, picture this. You've just moved into a stunning new property. Everything's perfect, right? But then you walk out the back door, and there it is. A totally neglected, swampy outdoor pool just staring back at you. Talk about an intimidating project. But hey, don't sweat it. Today, we're diving straight into a complete backyard pool transformation. We're going to break down exactly how a pro tackles this mess on site, and more importantly, we're pulling out some absolutely crucial maintenance tactics that literally anyone with a pool needs to know. Let's get into it. So, what's actually hiding at the bottom of a neglected pool? Well, when a pool is left to the elements, emptying it out reveals way more than just some cloudy water. In the setup we're looking at, the pro is literally out there shoveling absolute heaps of muck into a drive skip. I mean, it is a seriously dirty job. And underneath all that sludge, it's like a graveyard of lost summer memories. We're talking sunken snorkels, forgotten goggles, and, yeah, even an unfortunate frog that didn't make it. At this point, the pool is basically a swamp. You really just have to trust the grip on your boots and pray the muck isn't actually deeper than your shoes. Okay, moving right along to section 1, ripping out the old. Let's take a look at the teardown. Now pay attention to this specific observation from the pro on site. While checking out the old pool liner, that vinyl material that actually holds all the water in, he says they've gone quite brittle. And honestly, that right there is the whole ballgame. That single observation is the absolute key to why this massive, heavy-duty overhaul is happening in the first place. See, a pool liner is supposed to be super flexible and resilient, but once it gets brittle, it's totally compromised. It's going to crack, it's going to tear, and ultimately it's going to fail at its one and only job, keeping the water inside the pool. So here's the magic number you need to remember: 5. Based on what the pro tells us here, if you want to avoid that catastrophic brittleness, pool liners typically need to be swapped out every 5 years. This is the absolute core maintenance lesson of today's explainer. I know, it's super easy to just look at a pool liner and think, oh, it's a permanent fixture. But actually, scratch that, it is very much a wear and tear item. If you're waiting around until it cracks, well, you're waiting way too long. Setting a strict 5-year replacement schedule, that's a proactive tactic that'll save you from waking up to a suddenly empty pool and a completely flooded backyard. Now, before we get into the fun stuff of installing the new liner, we got to talk about what's underneath it. And that brings us to the screed. Basically, the screed is this foundational layer of material. In this specific case, it's laid in sandstone that sits directly underneath the pool liner. As they're pulling all that old, brittle vinyl out, the pro's biggest hope is that the screed underneath hasn't cracked. Because if that foundation is severely damaged under all the muck, wow, the scope of the whole repair job just multiplies instantly. You absolutely need a solid, perfectly smooth screed to support the massive, massive weight of all that water pushing down on the new liner. All right, section 2, the installation strategy. Time to see how the pros handle this. And this part brilliantly shows off the tactical mindset a professional pool restorer brings to the table. Instead of just going in and ripping the entire old liner out all at once, they use a really smart phased approach. First, they cut around the bottom and only take out the sides of the old liner. Then, and this is clever, they intentionally leave the old floor liner right where it is for the time being. Why? Well, they're waiting for a window of good weather. By leaving that floor piece intact, it basically acts like a giant protective tarp. If a nasty storm rolls in before they're ready to put the new liner in, that underlying screed is totally shielded from the rain. They only rip out that final floor piece when they are 100% ready to start the new installation. It's just a fantastic preventative hack. But hey, the liner isn't the only thing that wears out over time. During this teardown, the pro points out that they need to install a completely new skimmer. The skimmer is a hugely important structural piece of the pool's filtration system, and the old one here had cracked. This is a crucial reminder for us. Whenever you strip a pool down to its bare bones, you've got to thoroughly inspect all those structural components. I mean, think about it. Installing a pristine new liner right over a cracked, leaky skimmer would literally defeat the entire purpose of doing the renovation. All right, so the prep work is done, the skimmer is replaced, and the new liner can finally go in. For this job, the customer picked out a really beautiful Persia blue liner. They carefully unroll it into the prepped pool and then clip it firmly into place all around the top edge. But listen to this. This is probably the most ingenious trick of the whole process. They actually take a vacuum and run it behind the newly installed liner while the pool is filling up with water. Since it takes a couple of days to fill a pool that size, the continuous suction from the vacuum holds the liner perfectly tight and flat against the walls and floor. It stops any wrinkles or sagging from forming, while the massive weight of the water slowly takes over. Pretty smart, right? Moving on to section 3,
The finished transformation. Let's look at the final result. Wow, the contrast here is just staggering. Just look at the difference. We started off with this gross, brittle liner, foul water hiding lost snorkels and a broken skimmer, and now we've got a pristine, perfectly smooth Persia blue liner, crystal clear water, and a brand new structural skimmer. Plus, after a final scrub to make sure everything is absolutely flawless, the pro finishes the whole job by rolling out a brand new GeoBubble 600 cover. That final touch is a total game changer. Not only does it protect the massive new investment, but it keeps that meticulously cleaned water completely free of leaves and debris.
Okay, let's distill all of this into some actionable steps you can actually take away from today's explainer. Number one, and this is the big one, change your liners every 5 years before they get unworkably brittle. Just set a calendar reminder. Number two, if you ever have to drain your pool for repairs, protect that foundational screed from the weather. Leaving the old liner in place is an absolute masterstroke for this. Number three, use the teardown phase to rigorously inspect and replace structural stuff, like cracked skimmers. And finally, if you're ever putting in a new liner yourself, remember that vacuum trick. It'll keep everything perfectly smooth while the pool fills up over those first couple of days.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one thought. A pool is an incredible luxury, for sure, but it absolutely demands respect and proactive care. We just saw firsthand how fast a neglected pool turns into a literal swamp, and how a degraded, brittle liner is the root cause of so many massive headaches. So, go look out your back door. When was the last time you checked the age and flexibility of your liner? Is your backyard oasis secretly hiding a brittle 5-year-old ticking time bomb? Take these tactics to heart. Go check your own setup, and let's keep your pool safe, clean, and totally ready for summer.